Good. So the first step is, in this spot, I need a 1. You could say divide both sides by 2, and I'll say no. I only have 3 operations. I can swap rows if I want to. Second operation, I can divide or multiply each row by whatever, not 0, ever. Okay. The third operation is multiply one row by 5 and add the answer to another row if I choose to do so. If it serves a purpose, otherwise I'm not going to do that. So I want a 1 in here, and I'm already set. Swap. Of course I'm going to swap. I'm going to make this row the top one. I'm going to make this row the last one. So that's the easiest thing to do. Row 1 becomes row 3. Row 3 becomes row 1. So please dictate the new augmented matrix. Do not write the equal symbol. These matrices are not equal. So 1, 1, 1, 4, 2, negative 3, 1, 1, and 2, 1, negative 1, 1. For now, I accomplished one step, which is that. Next, I have to create the zeros. Somehow, I have to get the 0 instead of this and a 0 instead of this. Which row will I have to use in order to accomplish 0, 0? So I have to use row 1 and multiply by what to get a 0 here, and add it to row 2. And then row 1 multiply by something else and add it to row 3. So what do I need here and what do I need here? Do you all agree with negative 2 in both cases? Good. So which row do I have to copy, because at this step, in this step, it will not change? Exactly. 1, 1, 1, 4. So let's do this together, please. 1 times negative 2 plus 2. 1 times negative 2 minus 3. One more time. 1 times negative 2 minus 3. Perfect. 1 times negative 2 plus 1. Perfect. 4 times negative 2 plus 1. Very good. 1 times negative 2 plus 2. 1 times negative 2 plus 1. Awesome. 1 times negative 2 minus 1. Awesome. 4 times negative 2 plus 1. That's it. Awesome. Very good. So here's what we have accomplished. This is done. Where is my next step? Don't even look at the rest. Just tell me, where is my next step? One in the middle of this column. So 1 in here. What is the easiest thing to do to get a 1 in here? You could say divide both sides by negative 5. I don't want to do it, because then I'm going to have, exactly, I'm going to have 1/5 and 7/5. So exactly, I see the negative 1. I will swap these two and then clean it up. So first I'm going to say row 2 becomes row 3 and row 3 becomes row 2. Therefore, I will copy the top. 1, 1, 1, 4. 0, negative 1, negative 3, negative 7, 0, negative 5, negative 1, negative 7. So this column is done. I want a 1 in here. I can't use -1. I could, but we really want a 1 in there. So how do I get a 1 in here? Divide row 2 by say it louder. I want a 1, not a -1. So I'm dividing both by -1. Very good. 1, 1, 1, 4. 0, 1, 3, 7. 0, -5, -1, -7. Good, so this is done. What is my next step? After I'm done with the middle one in column 2. I need a 0 here. If I jump here, I will never solve. So the steps are very clear and you cannot deviate from them. One more time. The 1 is necessary to enable us to get the zeros. The 1 is necessary to enable us to get the zeros. The 1 is necessary to enable us to get the zeros. You cannot change the order. You cannot do anything else. You cannot deviate from these steps. If you do, you will not solve. So I have the 1, and right now I have to get the zeros. Which row will I have to use in order to get these zeros? I have to. The 1 will give me the zeros. So row 2 multiplied by something and add it to row 1, and row 2 multiplied by something else and add it to row 3. So how do I eliminate the 1 here using this one? What do I need to multiply it by to get a 0 here? -1. What do I need to multiply this row by and add it here to get a 0 here? Awesome. Good. Which row I have to copy at this stage because it will not change in any way? Which one? I want the 0 here. Row 1 is not the one. The middle one. 0, 1, 3, 7. 1, 0. Okay, let's do this together. 1 times -1 plus 1. 0. 3 times -1 plus 1. 7 times -1 plus 4. Very good. 1 times 5 minus 5. 3 times 5 minus 1. Very good. 7 times 5. 35 minus 7. Very good. All this is done in the correct order. The 1 and then the corresponding zeros. The 1 and then the corresponding zeros. Where am I now? Right here. What do I need to obtain here for sure? I need the 1. Otherwise, I can't get the zeros here. So then what do I do to get the 1 here? Row 3 divided by 14. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 7, -2, -3. Which row do I have to use now in order to get the 0 here and the 0 here? If I do something that is not, I'm not supposed to, and I change this, then I know something is wrong. I can't go back, right? Once I have these in the correct order, if I change this or something goes on weirdly here, something is terribly wrong. I'm not on the right track. I'm not doing the right thing. So yes, I will be using row 3 to multiply it by something and add it to row 1, and row 3 multiplied by something else and add it to row 2. So 1 will be multiplied by what? Added here to get a 0 here. Indeed. 1 would be multiplied by something that I would add it here to get a 0. Awesome. Which row does not change at this point in time? Because I'm using it. Yes, 0, 0, 1, 2. And of course, 1, 0, and 0, 1, they cannot change. Okay. 1 times 2 minus 2. 2 times 2 minus 3.
1.
Perfect. 1 times negative 3 plus 3.
Sorry.
2 times negative 3 plus 7.
-1.
2 times negative 3 plus 7. 1. I don't know if this is true. There are so many steps. I could have made an error anywhere. But I'm going to check what? Indeed. This is what I'm going to check. X equals 1, Y equals 1, Z equals 1, Z equals 2. Okay, so let's go to the graphing calculator, second and matrix. Go to edit. It's a 3 by 4. And I'm going to edit by rows. If I find it. Yes, I found it. 2, 1, negative 1, 1. 2, 1, negative 1, 1. 2, negative 3, 1, 1. 2, negative 3, 1, 1. And 1, 1, 1, 4. 1, 1, 1, 4. So second and quit. Get out of there. And now I want to go back to second and matrix. And go to math. And I go up to RREF, part B. Press enter. Recall matrix A. Close the parenthesis and press enter. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. Any questions? Which one? The method?
Yes, not really, maybe because I'm not going through it. I don't really, I would have to, like, R1, what are we going to have to R1? How do we know?
How do we know which?
To use R1 or R2, R3.
Oh, okay. Okay, so if I don't use the 1, I cannot get the 0 here. So I have to use row 2. Twice. Once for this row and once for this row. The 1 will give me the 0 here, and the 1 will give me a 0 here. If I multiply this by negative 1 and add it here, I'll get 0. If I multiply this one by 5 and add it here, I'll get 0. So you just have to remember the sequence. Once you get the 1 at the top, you multiply by what you need and add so you can get the zeros. Once you have the 1 in the middle, then you multiply this row by what you need to get the zeros. And then at the very bottom, once you get the 1, then you multiply this row by what you need to get the zeros. So try to repeat these ones that we did in class. And if you want to come in early next time, we can sit down and work on a problem. It's just a mechanism. Once you understand the steps, should be fine. Okay, I would like to go back to 5.4. We have 5.4, 5.5, and 8.1. So let's look at a system of nonlinear equations by substitution or elimination. Let's say problem 40. So this is 5.4. So problem 40 on page 588. So here's a system. X minus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 5. And 2x minus y equals 3. So the problem is asking us to solve the system by the method of your choice, whatever you want. So how do I do that? First of all, I would like you to tell me which method is applicable here and why, and which method is not applicable here and why. So we are discussing substitution and elimination. So can anyone tell us what can be done here and what cannot be done?
I'd like to use substitution.
There is no other way but substitution because the variables are not the same. So here when you square, you will have x squared, and here you don't have x squared, and the same thing here. So the only method is substitution. Now, obviously, I'm going to solve the second equation, but for which variable? Which one is the most convenient one to solve for, and why? The y, because the coefficient is either positive 1 or negative 1. So I will move 3 and I will move y, and I get y equals 2x minus 3. Very good. Awesome. What do I do with this next? How do I proceed?
Plug in 2x minus 3 for the y value.
In the y value in the numerator, in the, you know what I mean, not numerator, but in here. Good. So then I have x minus 1 squared plus 2x minus 3 plus 1, everything squared equals 5. Awesome. What will be my next step?
Clean it up.
Very good. Let's clean it up. Well done. How do I clean it up? So I have x minus 1 squared plus 2x minus 2 squared equals 5. What now?
Never mind, I see it.
What do I have to do next?
Factor.
I can't.
Foil.
Yes, yes, but I refuse to foil because I have an agreement that I signed 3 months ago. You can foil. There's nothing wrong with foiling. I refuse to. So how many terms? 3 months. 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
So what do I have?
X squared minus 2x plus 1.
Very good.
No, by the way, over talking, sorry.
Plus
4x squared minus 8x plus 4.
Very good. Minus 5 equals 0. Awesome. Excellent. Good. Now what? What should I do next?
Combine my terms.
Very good. These two first into 5x squared. Then I have minus 10x. And 5 plus 1 minus 5 is 0. What do I do now? Remember, clean it up, factor, simplify. I can never divide by x. I'm not allowed to. But I will definitely divide both sides by to make it as simple as possible. And I will divide both sides by. Very good. Awesome. Thank you. So x squared minus 2x equals 0. What type of equation is it, and how many solutions do I have to present? Yes, it's quadratic, 2 solutions. The free term is missing. That's the easiest type of quadratic equation that anyone can give us to solve. Just factor the greatest common factor. So there are 2 options. Very good. 2 solutions. And they are? Awesome. Good, but not good enough. Because I have to find what? The other one. Very good. So let's go back here. When x is 0, how much is y? Very good. So 0, negative 3. Perfect. Now when x is 2, how much is y? Very good. So 2 comma 1. So it appears that the system has 0, negative 3, as well as 2 comma 1. And please check. So we can move on and review 5.5. Okay, systems of nonlinear inequalities. Okay, let's look at 53. Any questions for me? 53 on page 600. Okay. X squared plus y squared less than or equal to 1. And the second one is y minus x squared. If we did this problem, I would like to pick another. Have we done 53? We have? No, thank you. Okay, very good. So this is a system of two nonlinear inequalities, two variables. Okay. I start by writing the first equation. I'm not changing the inequality into an equation, but I need to write the equation so I can graph it. Good. What type of equation is this? Say it again. It's a circle. Very good. And it's centered where? Where is the center? Very good. And how much is the radius? Very good. So now will I graph it? So 1, 1, 1, 1. But the question is, will I graph it as a solid curve or not? Solid indeed. I see that it divides the entire plane into two regions. I'm going to check with the origin. This curve is only x squared plus y squared equals 1. I did not graph the inequality yet. So now with 0, 0, 0 less than or equal to 1. If you say this is true, I will shade in the inside. If you say no, this is false, then I will shade in the outside. Do I shade in the inside or the outside? The inside. Very good. So all this area inside and points on the curve represent solutions to this. Now I have to graph the other equation. I have to write it first. Y equals x squared, or y minus x squared equals 0, but that's the same thing. Okay, how do I graph this? What type of function is it? We graphed it a long time ago, many times. What is it? How do I graph y equals x squared? I know you know.
It's quadratic, so it's going to be u.
Very good. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, and so on and so forth. But the question is, do I graph it as a solid curve or not?
No.
No. Very good. So here's the graph. So this is y equals x squared. However, this time I cannot use the origin. Why? Because the curve, the function, goes through the origin. So I'm going to pick this point. That's my preference. 0, 2. So I'm checking the inside. 0, 2. Is 2 greater than 0? 2 minus 0, 2. Is 2 greater than 0? If you say true, then I will shade in the inside. If you say false, then I will shade in the outside. True? Very good. So then this is y minus x squared. It was greater than 0, yes. At this point, I have to do what? What do I do now? because I want the system to be true, not just one or the other. So I need to find a common territory. So I have a green region and I have a pink region. So do they overlap? Yes. Everywhere here, not on this curve, and everything inside. And what does this region represent? Both at the same time. And this is the only way we can present the solution, by graphing it. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. What is left to review for test 3 is that little section of 8.1. And that is the end of the review for test 3. However, I'm really kindly asking you to finish up everything